On today's episode of Animals and Their Spiritual Meaning, we have the turkey vulture. Now, before we get into it, does anybody else think that Jim Henson based his Skeksis characters off of the turkey vulture? Look at Chamberlain. He's clearly a turkey vulture. So here's a nice up close for you of the turkey vulture. You probably see these guys soaring in the sky, circling, knowing that there's some sort of dead carrion beneath them. They're sniffing that puppy with their excellent sense of smell. Even though you can see right through his nostrils, they have an amazing sense of smell to sniff out these dead carcasses. How does that translate into the symbology of a turkey vulture? This sense that you can sniff out the BS, that you have excellent discernment when the turkey vulture is called on as either a spirit animal, or if you're seeing a lot of these turkey vultures, it can be indicative that you need to use your sniffer to sniff out the BS in the situation, that something ain't right and you need to use your discernment. Turkey vultures also represent community and loyalty. They roost in these large packs, large colonies, and they're very social in nature. So if you're seeing a lot of turkey vultures around and you've been in more of a hermit phase, removing yourself from the community, these guys can highlight the importance of reintegrating yourself back into the community. You can do it slowly if you've been in that hermit mode for a long time, but there's this sense of needing to reintegrate yourself, reconnect, and community can be a beautiful thing. It's all about finding that soul tribe, that community that helps uplift you, that doesn't drain you. But ultimately, humans are a pack animal, and it is important for your nervous system, for your mental, cognitive abilities. Loneliness is one of the main key, killers essentially later in life. For people who are elderly, being lonely is as detrimental to their health as having, say, a heart condition. So as everybody knows, turkey vultures primarily eat carrion. I think that's their sole source of nourishment. If it's dead and rotting and stinky, they're yum. And so how does this translate into the symbology of a turkey vulture? They're known to represent purification and cleansing. So with these babies eating all of the roadkill or anything else that's sort of passed away and it's sort of festering with bacteria, it can have botulism in it, anthrax, cholera, rabies. None of those things are going to stop this turkey vulture from eating it, because in their stomachs, the acidity of their stomachs is the most acidic stomach of any vertebrate animal. More corrosive than battery acid. So nothing is going to bother their stomach, because the acid in their stomach is literally just going to destroy whatever sort of bacteria is on this rotting carcass. And so they represent that purification, that cleansing, because they're doing a service for the ecosystem, that when they're eating these animals that have died, they are then cleansing the sort of area surrounding it, because that whatever bacteria or anything that's growing that's present within that rotten flesh, they're consuming it, and so that it's not passing along to the surrounding area. So you can call on the turkey vulture if you're feeling as if you're something that you cannot stomach, right? Something that's not sitting right with you, something that could fester and turn into, say, an autoimmune disease, traumatic experiences, or not speaking up for yourself, or letting anger sit in your system and fester. You can call on the turkey vulture to help you work through that energy, to help it move through your system, to get it up and out, to transmute it, as opposed to hanging on to it, storing it in the body. Another fun fact about them is that they'll actually use their stomach acid as a defense mechanism. If a predator's around, they will vomit and spew their acid around, so that that predator's oh, that's pretty acidy contents. I better skedaddle. Their signature bald head is not just for good looks. Oh no, it actually helps them because they're digging at these rotting carcasses, right? So not having plumage on their head means that the rotten meat is not going to stick in their feathers there. So that's by design. And so the symbology behind this bald head can also indicate wisdom. So if you're seeing a lot of these sort of come into your awareness, you can be oh, I'm leveling up. I'm gaining a new level of wisdom, a new understanding. And also the bald head represents being able to meet challenges head on. So again, you're gaining wisdom through a challenging situation, because that's how we learn best. That's how our souls level up the best. So you can call on the turkey vulture to sort of meet this challenge head on and overcome any sort of obstacles. They can lend to you their strength and their wisdom. So the turkey vulture also represents renewal. So they are the ones that are like sort of have adapted in order to eat rotting flesh. And so they are consuming and receiving nourishment from something most deem inedible. Categorizing our friends, the turkey vulture, as like the master alchemist, right? Turning something into conceivably that would make everyone else sick, potentially pass away from consuming it. They're like, delicious. Let me eat this. I will gain nourishment from this. Turning the proverbial dead flesh into gold, right? So it's like their version of alchemy. All in all, if these majestic beauties, well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but they are really beautiful in flight. If these majestic beauties are coming into your awareness, the symbology associated with that is that it's a time for renewal, adaptation, time to reintegrate back into your community and sort of look at things from like a higher perspective as like they can bring to you wisdom and the ability to overcome any obstacles.